Top 25 Film Critic Interview Questions and Answers. Film criticism is both an art and a discipline, requiring deep cinematic knowledge, sharp analytical skills, and the ability to communicate opinions clearly and fairly. A successful film critic understands storytelling, technical filmmaking elements, cultural context, and audience perception. Interviews for film critic roles often test critical thinking, writing ability, objectivity, and passion for cinema. The following top 25 film critic interview questions and answers are designed to help you prepare thoughtful, professional responses and demonstrate your expertise in film analysis and critique. 1. What inspired you to become a film critic? I was inspired to become a film critic because films combine storytelling, visual art, sound, and performance into a powerful medium. Watching movies made me curious about how directors convey meaning through camera work, editing, and dialogue. Over time, I began analyzing films beyond entertainment, writing my thoughts and sharing them with others. Criticism allows me to explore cinema deeply, express informed opinions, and help audiences appreciate films more thoughtfully and critically. 2. How do you define the role of a film critic? A film critic's role is to analyze, interpret, and evaluate films while providing audiences with insightful, balanced perspectives. Beyond rating movies, critics examine storytelling, performances, direction, technical execution, and cultural relevance. A good critic informs viewers without dictating opinions, encouraging thoughtful engagement with cinema. The role also involves contextualizing films within genres, history, and social themes, helping audiences understand both artistic intent and overall impact. 3. What elements do you consider when reviewing a film? When reviewing a film, I consider narrative structure, character development, direction, cinematography, editing, sound design, and performances. I also assess pacing, thematic depth, originality, and emotional impact. Context matters, so I evaluate how the film fits its genre and cultural moment. Technical execution and artistic vision must align. Finally, I consider audience expectations and the filmmaker's intent, ensuring my critique is fair, comprehensive, and insightful. 4. How do you remain objective while reviewing films? I remain objective by separating personal taste from professional evaluation. I focus on the filmmaker's intent, genre conventions, and technical execution rather than whether the film aligns with my preferences. I support opinions with evidence from the film itself. Acknowledging bias is also important. I try to be transparent and fair. Objectivity allows readers to trust my judgment while still understanding my perspective as a critic. 5. How do you handle reviewing films you personally dislike? When reviewing a film I dislike, I focus on analyzing why it didn't work rather than simply expressing negativity. I examine structure, pacing, performances, or thematic clarity, and acknowledge any strengths it may have. Respectful critique is essential. I avoid dismissive language. My goal is to explain my perspective clearly while recognizing that different audiences may appreciate the film differently, maintaining professionalism and fairness in my review. 6. What makes a film review engaging to readers? An engaging film review combines clear analysis, strong writing, and a distinctive voice. It balances critical insight with accessibility, avoiding excessive jargon. Good reviews use vivid descriptions, relevant examples, and thoughtful comparisons. Engaging critics respect readers' intelligence while keeping content entertaining. Honesty, clarity, and passion make reviews compelling. Readers should feel informed, stimulated, and curious about the film, regardless of whether they agree with the opinion. 7. How do you approach reviewing different genres? I approach each genre by understanding its conventions, audience expectations, and historical context. A horror film, for example, should be judged differently than a romantic drama. I assess whether the film successfully achieves its genre goals while offering originality or depth. Comparing a film only within its genre ensures fairness. This approach allows me to appreciate diverse storytelling styles and evaluate films based on appropriate creative and technical standards. 8. How important is cultural and social context in film criticism? Cultural and social context is extremely important in film criticism. Films often reflect societal values, political issues, and cultural perspectives. Understanding context helps critics interpret themes, symbolism, and character motivations accurately. It also allows for more meaningful analysis of representation and messaging. Ignoring context can oversimplify a film's impact. A well-informed critic considers how a film resonates within its time and cultural environment. 9. How do you analyze a director's style? I analyze a director's style by examining recurring visual choices, narrative patterns, thematic concerns, and character portrayals across their films. Camera movement, framing, pacing, and tone often reveal a director's signature. I also consider how they collaborate with writers, cinematographers, and composers. Comparing their work over time helps identify evolution or consistency. This analysis deepens understanding of creative intent and artistic identity. 10. How do you evaluate acting performances? I evaluate acting by considering emotional authenticity, character consistency, physical expression, and chemistry with other actors. Strong performances feel natural and serve the story without drawing unnecessary attention. I also consider how actors interpret dialogue, convey subtext, and adapt to the film's tone. Performances should enhance narrative credibility. Context matters, as acting styles vary across genres and cultures, requiring flexible, informed evaluation. 11. What role does cinematography play in your reviews? Cinematography plays a vital role because it shapes mood, storytelling, and visual identity. I analyze lighting, composition, camera movement, and color palette to see how they support narrative themes. Strong cinematography enhances emotion and immersion, while weak visuals can distract or confuse. A critic must recognize when visuals elevate storytelling or compensate for narrative flaws, making cinematography a core component of thoughtful film analysis. 12. How do you assess screenwriting quality? I assess screenwriting by examining structure, dialogue, pacing, and character arcs. A strong script has coherent progression, meaningful conflict, and authentic dialogue. I look for thematic clarity and whether scenes advance the story. Poor writing often shows through inconsistency or underdeveloped characters. Screenwriting forms the backbone of any film, so its effectiveness significantly influences overall quality and audience engagement. 13. How do you critique editing and pacing? Editing and pacing determine how smoothly a film flows. I assess whether transitions feel natural, scenes are appropriately timed, and tension is sustained. Good editing enhances clarity and emotional impact, while poor editing disrupts immersion. I also consider rhythm, whether the film drags or feels rushed. Thoughtful pacing keeps audiences engaged and supports storytelling, making editing a crucial aspect of film critique. 14. How do you approach reviewing independent or low-budget films? I approach independent or low-budget films by focusing on creativity, storytelling, and innovation rather than production scale. Budget limitations often inspire unique solutions, which deserve recognition. I judge these films based on ambition, execution, and emotional resonance, not Hollywood standards. Understanding constraints ensures fairness. Independent cinema often pushes boundaries, so critics should remain open-minded and supportive of bold, unconventional storytelling choices. 15. How do you balance criticism with respect for filmmakers? I balance criticism with respect by focusing on the work, not the creator. I avoid personal attacks and instead analyze decisions and outcomes. Constructive criticism highlights areas for improvement while acknowledging strengths. Respectful language maintains professionalism and credibility. Filmmaking is collaborative and challenging, so empathy matters. A respectful tone encourages thoughtful dialogue rather than hostility, benefiting both audiences and the creative community. 16. How do you handle disagreements with readers? I handle disagreements by remaining open, respectful, and confident in my analysis. I understand that film appreciation is subjective, so differing opinions are natural. When engaging readers, I explain my perspective clearly and listen to theirs without defensiveness. Constructive discussion enriches criticism. Maintaining professionalism builds trust and encourages healthy dialogue, reinforcing that criticism is about interpretation, not absolute judgment. 17. How important is film history knowledge for a critic? Film history knowledge is essential because it provides context and depth. Understanding past movements, influential directors, and genre evolution helps critics identify references, innovations, and patterns. It allows meaningful comparisons and prevents superficial analysis. Film history enriches critique by connecting contemporary cinema to its roots. A strong historical foundation enables critics to appreciate originality, recognize homage, and evaluate a film's contribution to cinematic tradition. 18. How do you review films from different cultures or languages? I review international films with cultural sensitivity and research. Understanding social norms, storytelling traditions, and historical context helps avoid misinterpretation. I focus on universal themes while respecting cultural specificity. Subtitles and translation nuances also matter. Approaching global cinema with curiosity and humility ensures fair evaluation. This openness allows critics to celebrate diversity and help audiences appreciate films beyond their cultural comfort zones. 19. How do you manage tight deadlines for reviews? I manage tight deadlines by preparing structured notes during screenings and outlining reviews immediately afterward. Time management and discipline are crucial. I prioritize clarity and key points without sacrificing depth. Experience helps streamline analysis while maintaining quality. Staying organized allows me to meet deadlines consistently. Even under pressure, I ensure accuracy, fairness, and thoughtful critique, which are essential for maintaining credibility. 20. How do you decide a film's rating or score? I decide ratings by weighing strengths and weaknesses across storytelling, performances, technical quality, and impact. Ratings summarize judgment but don't replace written analysis. I ensure consistency by using clear internal criteria. While ratings are subjective, they should reflect thoughtful evaluation rather than emotion. I aim for ratings that align with my written critique, helping readers quickly understand my overall assessment. 21. What challenges do film critics face today? Modern film critics face challenges such as audience polarization, social media backlash, and declining attention spans. The rise of influencers and instant reactions competes with in-depth criticism. Maintaining credibility and relevance requires adaptability. Critics must balance speed with substance while navigating online discourse. Despite challenges, thoughtful criticism remains valuable, offering insight and context that quick opinions often lack. 22. How has digital media changed film criticism? Digital media has expanded access and platforms for film criticism. Blogs, podcasts, and social media allow critics to reach wider audiences instantly. However, it also increases competition and pressure for quick reactions. Digital formats encourage diverse voices and interactive discussion. Successful critics adapt by maintaining quality while engaging readers across multiple platforms, blending traditional analysis with modern communication methods. 23. How do you research before writing a review? Before writing, I research the film's background, including director interviews, production notes, and cultural context. I avoid spoilers or excessive influence from other reviews. Research helps clarify intent and themes without shaping my opinion unfairly. This preparation ensures accuracy and depth. Informed reviews demonstrate professionalism and provide readers with richer, more meaningful insights into the film's creation and purpose. 24. What ethical standards should film critics follow? Film critics should uphold honesty, transparency, and independence. Accepting gifts or favors that influence reviews compromises credibility. Disclosing conflicts of interest is essential. Critics should avoid personal bias, plagiarism, and sensationalism. Ethical standards protect trust between critic and audience. Integrity ensures criticism remains informative rather than promotional, preserving the critic's role as a reliable, thoughtful voice in film discourse. 25. Where do you see yourself as a film critic in the future? In the future, I see myself as a respected voice in film criticism, contributing across written, digital, and multimedia platforms. I aim to specialize in in-depth analysis while remaining accessible to broad audiences. I want to mentor emerging critics and explore global cinema more deeply. Continuous learning and adaptability will help me grow, ensuring my work remains relevant, insightful, and impactful. Film critic interviews assess analytical depth, communication skills, objectivity, and passion for cinema. Strong preparation allows you to articulate thoughtful perspectives while demonstrating professionalism and ethical awareness. By balancing knowledge, creativity, and respect for diverse viewpoints, you can stand out as a credible critic. These questions and answers provide a solid foundation to help you confidently navigate interviews and pursue a meaningful career in film criticism.